What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 8, titled Children of Wrath. Alright, so the title, Children of Wrath, really does explain this episode because, I mean, that's really what it's all about as far as Madison explaining her past, explaining that she was a child of wrath when she killed her father. And then we have Alicia fighting back and basically telling Madison, this is how you are. I see why our father killed himself, which was a pretty cold-hearted line if you ask me, especially being a parent. So that's like child of wrath also. Wrath is like killing someone out of anger or just anger in general, I believe. And then we have Nick at the end killing Otto out of wrath for Otto and who he was, but I think also for learning some more truth about his mother and who she really is. So, I mean, he's doing it at a child of wrath also. And I think it leads into Troy and Jake finding their father dead, and I think they maybe will question the circumstances of that death, seeing as how the bullet was in the front of the head, and Madison was sitting across from him, and it was supposedly a suicide. So, yeah, I can see that turning into them being children of wrath, or at least one of them, in trying to really figure out what happened to their father, or even blaming it on the Native Americans and going after them, but I don't see how that would be the case. And then we also have the whole story of Walker, I think that's his name, or one of his names, the Native American leader, the governor, I guess, of the series, right? We have him also being a child of wrath, also, and trying to get vengeance for the death of his uncle and his father and the so-called stealing of his land. So, I mean, it ties in perfectly to the whole motif of this episode. I mean, even to an extent of Ophelia being a child of wrath in that she still harbors anger for her father, I believe, you know, for the whole thing with the mom and all that other stuff. All right, I like this episode. One of my favorite episodes of the season. I don't think I liked it as much as I liked episode 7, but I liked it just the same. I know they say, you know, it's the mid-season finale and all that, and it really should, if it was supposedly some sort of finale, it really should have been more exciting and had a little bit more attention, even though the last scene with Otto and Madison and Nick was very tense. And even the scene where Madison was explaining her backstory to Alicia and Nick was actually a pretty tense scene for me, and I enjoyed that scene. And that's some of the best acting Kim Dickens has done with this series. I don't mean in her career. I've seen her do other things pretty well. But in this series, she hasn't really been on her A game, let's say. But even that being one of her better performances, it's still very cold and unattached. And not just because it's being told in the third story, which I didn't mind so much. In the third person, I mean. Which I didn't mind so much. But, I don't know. It just seemed very cold and disconnected to it. Even though everybody, and I think even Alicia and Nick, right away, as soon as the story goes, they kind of already know that she's talking about herself as a child, right? And I like her how her childhood kind of echoes the Otto's. And the Otto's childhood and their whole situation, but reversed, where instead of it being just the dad that was a problem, it was the dad and the mom, but the mom seemed to be even more of a problem than the dad. Or maybe the other way around, where the dad was really the bigger problem, but the mom is the one that ended up dying. Along those lines, maybe we'll learn a little bit more than that. But the way Fear has been in the past is I don't think we're going to really delve too deep into these stories. The Walking Dead kind of shies away from that too, and they kind of stay in the moment, even when they talk about the past stuff. Alright, so yeah, we had that. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the stuff with Ophelia in this episode a lot. I do think that this episode was did a little too well at making it easy to predict how the rest of the story is going to go. I'll do a predictions video too, probably in a day or two, on how I think the rest of the season is going to play out. But I think like by watching these 7 and 8, these last 2 episodes of the first half, you kind of get a sense of where they're going. But hey, maybe we'll get lucky and it won't be predictable and they'll change it up enough to where we all feel fresh and we all feel good about the situation. They have been doing a better job this far this season on the way they tell the story and all of that. And the ideas still remain good, but the execution still needs very much improvement. I have no more complaints about acting other than Kim Dickens, Madison, and sometimes Alicia. But I still have a huge problem with inconsistencies like Troy's eye. That cut on Jake's head should be a stitchable cut. It shouldn't be like looking like it's scabbed over already in like a couple of hours or a day or two. Nah. That was a deep cut, dude. He was about to scalp him. Come on. And he looked like he knew what he was doing about scalping. And I don't say just because he's a Native American. Not that all Native Americans know how to scalp people. But just him, his demeanor, the way he has a deep knowledge of his past and the past of his people and all of that. So I think he would have a pretty good knowledge on how to scalp someone properly. And it looked like he was about to do it properly because it was, they make the incision and then I believe there's another incision and then it's like peeling back. I think that's how it goes. Or it might just be the one incision and then peeling back with the knife. But I think there's another incision involved. And that's what a lot of movies get wrong, is they only do the one incision. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. But I might be wrong. Correct me in the comments, definitely. So yeah, I liked all the stuff with the Ottos. This episode was great. Jake was great. Troy was good in the little bit he was in this episode. And Otto, Jeremiah Otto he's always great. I just love that actor. Dayton Callie is his name. All right, so we have all that, and then we get my least favorite part of the episode was the Ophelia and Jeremiah Otto, the beginning, like the flashback scene. I liked it up until the end. She seemed to have so much hatred towards the Ottos, and all he did was exhibit racism, which I get. Look, he said, and racism is a bad thing, and it's a hugely bad thing. I'm not trying to like brush off racism at all, but all right, you know what? Now I'm talking about it. Let's retract. Let's change my statement. I guess it worked to where I'm not taking you to save to my community to save you. You're brown. There's no brown people where I'm from. All right, that's pretty fucked up. Not saving her alone is fucked up, but then telling her because of the color of her skin, she's not gonna save her, whatever, right? But I just was expecting and hoping that it would be a little more than that. Like maybe he beat her, or maybe he was like a sexual pervert, even against, like someone he's racist against. And, he molested her or went even further with it. Not that I'm wishing for that to happen. I'm just saying I thought it was going to be much more serious. Or maybe he tried to kill her and she escaped and got away. Or Walker came and saved her from being attacked by Otto. I was hoping for something along the lines of that. But what we got was still okay because I get it. He's a racist piece of shit, but he's not a complete psycho. So he didn't kill her, but he didn't save her either. And she's pissed off because, well, screw you. That you won't take me in because I'm brown. Puh, I get it. So that it wasn't so bad, and I really liked the cinematography of her wandering through the desert. It gave me that feeling of weary, like the way it was like kind of blurry at times, and how she was kind of hallucinating Daniel, who she would hallucinate. It was the most recent loved one she lost. Plus, he was a guy that always had the answers, and he was a guy that had a mysterious military past. So, and she knew that. So, it made sense that she would hallucinate him. And I liked how she was like, the earth will save me. The earth will save me, digging a hole to be buried in. I don't know if you guys picked this up, but Daniel says to her, the earth is nothing but a tomb. Because she'll bury herself alive in there, and it's probably not that much cooler unless you go like 50, 100 feet deep. You know what I mean? So yeah, I liked all that. I didn't understand after Otto left that she didn't just go right back to where she dropped the bottle, because that didn't make too much sense. Why wouldn't you go back for your water? Or they at least should have tried showing her looking for it. But whatever. And then I like how Walker saved her, but once again harkens back to the season 3 stuff. Yeah, it wasn't the governor that saved Andrea and Michonne. It was Merle. But who did Merle work for? He worked for the governor, right? So, there was too many of those parallels in these last 2 episodes. And what is it with with this show trying to tone everything down to a network, NBC, CBS, ABC level, and not even showing us the severed head? They didn't show it getting cut off. Okay, I get it. Show me the head. You'd show me a little piece of a bald head. I knew what it was. Did I really need to see it? No. But coming from this world of The Walking Dead and coming off of the original show and how it at least used to be presented to us, you expect to see some gore, some blood, some goddamn zombies. My biggest complaint about the episode before this was the Walker scene where the camp got like overrun a tiny bit, which was a great scene that got cut way too short. It should have been like the end of the season 2 scene. From the regular Walking Dead, where we got a lot of mayhem and some killing of walkers and some scary shit and some tension, and we saw some people get ripped apart. We got almost none of that. Total misstep. In my opinion, total misstep. But, as I said, this show is improving this season. It is piquing my interest. The storylines are more engaging for me. They don't seem to be running through them as quickly as they did in season 2, and even in season 1, which is a plus, a huge plus, because they take their time on the wrong things, and then they speed through the wrong things in this show, where they need to find out that, we need more action, we need more walkers, we need more fear in a show called Fear The Walking Dead. And we need more Walking Dead in a show called Fear the Walking Dead, right? We don't have nearly enough of that. So that's a big misstep. They need to correct that. But the storytelling seems to be improving. The acting, especially from the side characters, is way, way, way improving. And, it's starting to suck me back into where I'm really, really interested in what's going to happen. So I'll do a predictions video. Be on the lookout for that, just to kind of tell you where I think the rest of the season is going to go. I know I didn't do predictions videos on this one. I don't get tons of views on my Walking Dead videos, and I love making them, and I love talking about Walking Dead, and that shouldn't affect me making them. But unfortunately, it does slightly affect it for me, because it's like I feel like I'm only really making the video for me to watch. But I'm sure that'll pick up eventually, hopefully. Whatever. So definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the mid-season finale, which I don't get, because I'm pretty sure it resumes in like a month or less. We get it. I think we get it in August or the last week of July. The show comes back. So it's not like there's a real break, in there. But it is what it is. It'll give us something to talk about in, the coming weeks, whatever. A little different stuff to talk about than just reviews and discussions. So, yep. Thank you so much for watching the video. Always appreciated. And please make sure you like, subscribe, share the videos. It helps me get out there more people see it. It makes me feel better about making these, and that I'm not only making them for myself and my small circle of friends. So thanks again. Look out on the channel for a ton of other stuff I do, other TV shows, movies here and there. I've been staying away from movies lately, but check it out. There might be other stuff there that interests you. So for the 8 millionth time, thanks again for watching. Always appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Oh, where's the cursor? I always